Alright, so, uh, I don't really know how to start this, but, if you're on this, you looked at the thumbnail, you looked at the title, and you're probably thinking, what exactly is this? And I'm here to answer that and explain it in the best of my abilities. That is will be without me knowing how I'm gonna edit this. So, what I have here is the Minecraft cinematic universe. Now, what you're thinking is, Tyler, this doesn't make any sense. And I know, that's why I'm here. I'm gonna explain it to you peasants that don't understand the complexity. So, I'm gonna use my brush tool here to explain what I'm exactly talking about. I'm gonna go over everything. And, alright. Here we go. So, now, the way this is structured, I'm going to put it as everything in here is, one coherent universe, and this is just the natural progression. Looks a bit weird, but it makes sense when I explain it. So, okay, actually getting started. It begins with H1, which is the spawn, and this depicts the first players coming into the world, and this is mostly done with Steve's, as you can see in what I believe. I can't believe I don't remember this one, but whatever that one is, I feel really stupid not knowing it. One more fright. This is my biome, Redstoner. No, I can't. It's been several days since I made this. I'm sorry that I can't remember all of these, but this one and this one. These are all really basic. You can see in this one that there are multiple people working together, which is a little bit into H2, but I decided to put it here anyways because it's very primitive. But these are all ones that don't have any real connection to the universe. They actually just are, they're really just there to signify things that would probably be going on in the time of H1. So, on to the actual timeline. We have the beginning, which is Diggy Diggy Hole and TNT. Now, I'm going to start with TNT and everything that follows it, because that's the line that ends right about at H4. I mean, I'll probably just go over everything anyways. So, I'm going to explain these as if most people, or as if you don't really remember them all, because I don't want to have everyone watch all of these like I did. So TNT is super early on Minecraft, therefore making it probably the oldest video out of all of these, probably being the original Minecraft parody itself. And in it shows Captain Sparkles just running around, TNT, creepers, probably in creative mode, just chilling, just making a music video. But it explains the very primitive times where there was no one around and anyone could do whatever they want. Diggy Diggy Hole, on the other hand, explains a sense of unity, or an early sense of unity, in which also this kind of goes into YouTubers, but that's kind of what this line is kind of going for. But don't worry about that. It's nothing. It's really nothing. Spends unity and the old dwarven kingdom, which is soon to fade. So next becomes Don't Mind at Night, which is basically, someone who's very new to the game, a Steve, if you will, that does not know much about the game, which is why he goes out mining at night very unprepared and doesn't exactly know what's going on and gets ganked a lot. This leads into Revenge, which is obviously a slightly more seasoned Steve who knows a lot more about the game, but it's not perfect. And because he gets messed up by the creepers a lot. And so it also, on the upper layer, there is New World by Skydoes Minecraft and I Can Swing My Sword by Tobuscus, which both explain kind of the first adventures of people in the world. Scott Minecraft, it could really go before Diggy Diggy Hole. They could swap places, honestly. And then I can. Okay. I can swing my sword is really just explaining, this guy, Tobuscus, being one of the first people to acquire a diamond sword and putting such a high bounty on it because it is so valuable at that point in time. Obviously, he knows nothing about those who came before him, being the dwarves, who probably had diamond swords considering they had diamond pickaxes. Okay, next, going specifically into the TNT line, so that way this doesn't get too confusing, we have Evil Mobs, which is a parody that explains the beginning of this is H2, by the way. Now, this is H2 we're going into. This explains the beginning of civilization in villages, which is also shown in other ones, but I'll get to them later. This leads down to what I like to call the Ant Venom line, which is a trilogy, which basically goes with this chick. And okay, sorry, that was probably loud. To put it in short, what is it? I don't remember it all that well. This female, she probably gets her kid kidnapped. That's probably what he is in the second one. And then her husband goes to save him. The husband maybe dies, I'm not sure. Dude, also the wizard dude freaks out. I'm not really sure what was going on there. And she meets up with the cool Steve dude. And they go to the end. Presumably, they are the first people to go to the end, as there is seen. But they do fail to go to the end, or to destroy the Ender Dragon, which is why I like to say that they are the first ones to go to the end, because of things like the Dragonite. So next comes into probably the most well-known Minecraft parody of all time, Fallen Kingdom, which goes to explain the what am I thinking? Or the true aspect of unity, in the sense that people have actually come together to form kingdoms around the globe, and sadly, whatever the one the king was defending falls. So, in this gap here, it's not labeled, but there is Take Back the Night, in which Herobrine dies, and this is significant, but I didn't leave it out here. Again, this has been days since I made this, or this chart, but Herobrine dying here is significant because he will later come back from the dead.
Just he comes back just so that the whole thing makes sense. Honestly, if it didn't, literally everything past age 4 just would not exist. So don't worry about it.
He will come back later into the story, but right now he dies. And then part 3, which is Find the Pieces, goes to show that the Wither does exist, and it brings to the Nether invasion, where Nether mobs do exist in here. I don't know if this is actually part of Nether. Really not. Oh my god. I'm really trying to do this in one take. Probably not trying to cut out as much as possible. This might be long, it might be short, I'm not sure. If you're enjoying this content, please subscribe and leave a like on the video. Comment what's your favorite Minecraft parody out of all of these here. And then watch all my other videos so I feel better about myself. So, the Nether invasion sparks all these Nether mobs spawning, being the Wither, Screw the Nether, and Little Squareface 3. But this leads to Dragonhearted, in which the king, by the way, Dragonhearted is the final piece out of these 3, which are actually the end existing. So this is the last one. I probably should explain this first, but whatever. So the Ender Dragon is tamed and does die in the overworld. At least I think it died. Oh my god, I'm gonna yell it again. Okay. tamed in the overworld, and I'm pretty sure he does die. And if he doesn't,
I don't really know. I also don't care enough. It's too, I'm already doing this. Not going back.
Next to explain is Little Square Face, as he could be seen as the first person to go to the Nether. I would like to think of him as the second, right behind these guys who failed to, because he actually does kill the Ender Dragon, if I'm not mistaken. And why I put this in front of this one is because the Dragon Egg would allow the dragon to respawn and then for it to be tamed. And assumingly it dies in the overworld, doesn't leave an egg, and then that's the end of it. So, that was getting on. Okay. Next is the Supernatural Mobs line, which starts with this one. Yeah, I'm really not gonna do that again. That was stupid. Which is bait. Yep, there it is. Which is basically a parody about two dudes going out adventuring together, and they meet this like super buff spider jockey, and then it kills the good guy, and the other guy, pulls like a shonen, and then he's like, "You won't get away with this," and then he kills the spider jockey. But this does foreshadow in the rest of the timeline more sentient mobs that do actually, or I guess are smart. So this leads into Supernatural Mobs, which is about the Skeleton King and his men defending his fortress from human NPCs. I guess humans in general, really. They're trying to attack them, and then the Skeleton King goes sicko mode and absolutely murks all of them. Next is this one. Don't remember it, but the Skeleton teams up with the Zombie King and the Enderman King to fight Herobrine. The same Herobrine as this one. It's not the second coming of Herobrine. The second coming of Herobrine is here. So, teams up with Herobrine, or teams up with the boys to kill Herobrine, because Herobrine is trying to kill her. Herobrine is trying to kill everyone because that's who Herobrine is, which coincides with Herobrine trying to destroy the kingdom. So, okay, now we move on more towards, more progression. Next is this song by Slamicow. I'm not sure what it is, honestly, but it's about playing Minecraft with friends, and that's really it. But it does go into beginning a teamwork where people actually start building stuff like villages and towns, and people start working together. This leads into Screw the Nether again.
This is like the YouTuber line. That's what I'm going for right now.
Just Screw the Nether, which goes to show, people at first go to the Nether and they think, wow, this place is really nice. It's all there's not any creepers, zombies, skeletons. It's all peaceful and stuff. Then they realize it's not as good, so they go home. So, now we reach more modern times. I know it says the end, but it's still more modern times. With Hunger Games by Bajan Canadian and Tribute by Vicstar. These both are Hunger Games based, and both consider a time where everything is at peace now, after the events of the Fallen Kingdom line and all that shit. And it's basically a time of peace and prosperity where everyone gets along and they can play fun things like Hunger Games. But both of these lead into Minecraft-like life. I don't know why it says karaoke. That's the only good thumbnail I can find. Whatever. So Minecraft life is all these YouTubers and regular people come together, and they're like, let's just build a nice city, and we're all gonna live in it and enjoy it. I just hit my mic. Whatever. I hope that wasn't really loud. This leads to an off series of this is called Hacker, which is basically just about people who hack the game and how it's like, oh, you suck, you hacked the game. Nothing too important, but it's just to show, the bit of realism. I put that in air quotes around this lineage or timeline, I guess. So this is where this whole thing, I can make it right circle. these are all connected, okay? They're all connected. And I'm gonna explain why, like legitimately connected, not like I just put this random tier list together connected. Now I'm sneezing. Alright, so we start with this one. Pretty sure it's just called Griefer. And this goes into Einstein, who essentially is one of our main protagonists here, along with Freddy, who is this blonde character right here. And what Einstein does is he goes around and he griefs, because that's what he does. And everyone's like, stop. And he's like, no, he's too powerful. He's not really that powerful. And he's like, I'm stronger, so I'm just gonna grief everything. And he does. But that sparks the rest of this line. Next is Fun in Minecraft, featuring Sky Does Minecraft on the lyrics, by the way, where Freddy joins in, as well as Herobrine
V2. Herobrine V2. This is why I said it was important, because he dies earlier, but he's back now. Okay, it's Herobrine V2.
So Herobrine V2 is actually a nice guy, and he sees Freddy and Einstein, and they're all chilling and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we're griefing. And Herobrine's like, bet. And then he gives them a bunch of really cool superpowers. He bestows some of his own powers into them, and they're like, bet. And then they take the powers, and then they meet up with this guy right here, and then they kick his ass, because that's what they do, because they're the protagonists. Next is Legendary Griefer, another song in the main trilogy here, which is Freddy, Einstein, and a female. They're basically going around, they have superpowers, they're just destroying everything, because that's exactly what they do. And at the same time this is happening, basically, the song Atlanteans by Atlanticraft is happening, where Joe, the chicken, and Cody, the penguin, those are very important distinctions, you have to remember that. They are the kings of Atlantis, and they are defending Atlantis from the Sea Guardian and his sea goons. And they do that very successfully. And so, once these two occur, they merge together.
Get it? Because it's like a timeline, so like it just works.
And this isn't the actual thumbnail of the video, but this is the only one I can find. So, Freddy, Einstein's still good. Freddy meets Joe. Cody is still in Atlantis. But Freddy meets Joe on a beach, and they talk, and they're like, hey, you want to come with us? And he's like, bet. And then he comes with them, and this is Fight With Me, but you can see little robot boy comes back, a little robot bald boy comes back, and they all fight. And then at the end of this, spoiler warning right now, if you haven't seen them yet, in case you just want to watch this whole thing, this is a pretty big point. Okay, so Einstein dies at the end of this music video. Important development. While this is happening, I think this is Defend Our Crown or Take Our Crown or something like that. So while, Joe is out here with the boys just chilling, fucking shit up, Cody is back at Atlantis. He's defending them from Kraken Baby and his 4 giant, just guardians that were just there apparently, and he unleashes them on Atlantis. And then and Cody goes back in time and sees Atlantis beat all of these 4 single-handedly, and he's like, oh, Atlantis killed the Squid Kids' parents, so that's why he's brought the pain of these 4 dudes on Atlantis. So, he hates them and shit. And he's like, okay, hold on. And he brings up the screenshots. He's like, dude, this isn't my fault at all. There's nothing I can do. Please stop destroying the city. And he's like, okay. And then they stop, and then they kill the 4 guardians for some reason, instead of walking them back away. So, next. Oh my god, this is literally so important, and I cannot remember it at all. Whatever. I'll remember the name. I'll put it on the screen. So in this parody, it is, as you can see, Freddy, Joe, and Herobrine versus Baldhead, and I don't know who these guys are, but they're powerful. They're there. And so while Freddy and Joe are duking out with the Angels of Life and Death, what it looks like, Herobrine here is duking it out with Metalhead, and they both have access to console, which is pretty important. Because then they're like, all right, bet, and they go little hacking gamer wars, and so they start doing all their stuff, and while they're doing that, these two are fighting. They end up being fine. But Herobrine ends up killing this dude, and then these two die as well. And this is like the big bang of like modded shit. As you can see, H6 modded shit. And it sparks 3 different lines, which is the adventure line, which is stuff like Pixelmon, I guess the Crazy Craft line, I guess I should call it, which is Sparks Crazy Craft. And then it goes all the way around here because I had no space, which is MoonQuest, which is more tech mod packs. So you know, it's like, and then like a bunch of stuff shows up. But these two are kind of their own thing. Okay. So this first song is. Oh, it's on the tail. A big fight. I think it's called Big Fight.
There is nothing good.
And this is
There's
basically
nothing creative
the
about
pack,
this.
which shows
What the
up
fuck is that?
previously in
Fuck
both
you.
Hunger Games and Tribute. I think more so in Tribute. And they're squaring off against the king, and they win. I'm pretty sure. But also, they like fight the king again or something. I don't really know. And then they lose. This is called Mobs Can't Handle This, by the way. So they fight the king again, they lose, and then they're like, alright, whatever. And then they go and get better gear for some reason, because apparently it was only good the first time. But they also acquire more members, and then they squad up, you know, put the squad stream on, and then they fight against the queen. And so they fight the queen, they slay the queen, along with a bunch of other stuff. And then all 3 of these emerge right back into Modageddon, which is the finale of the timeline I have here. Now, Modageddon is pretty much what it looks like. Everything goes to shit. Alright? Everything. Crazy craft. Mutant mobs. Like, just like everything that could just go wrong goes wrong. There are dinosaurs, zombies, all that shit. And it all comes down on the city. And
Guess who fucking saves the day? None other than Joe and Cody themselves, Bayesian Canadian, Skydust, Minecraft, Lachlan, Vicstar. They're all there. They're all there, and they're all helping.
they help this poor guy who just wanted to have a city, and yet it just gets absolutely murked by stuff like the King and Mobzilla and mutant creepers. And they all save it, and it all goes back to normal. After Skydust Minecraft hacks the mainframe and gives MC right here a nuke, and then he puts the nuke on the back of the King, and then he blows the King up, and then it ends. So, in short, in short, H1, very unorganized, people just doing their own thing. H2, people come together, like it says, teamwork, whether that be humans or enemy or mobs, come together to work together. Nether invasion, everyone's going to the Nether. They're like, this stuff's cool. The end, so mostly half of it is actually end related, the other half is the end of the kind of chaotic period. Modern age, everyone comes together in futuristic cities, and then modded line, I guess, is where things just go, a little crazy bonkers, a little stupid maybe. And that's the end. It's the end of the video, and it's the end of everything. It all ends with Modageddon. I might do a power ranking, tier list power ranking of all the characters shown here. Potentially, if I ever feel like it. Probably. I wouldn't bet on it though. But in short, that's everything. That is the Minecraft cinematic universe put together. And thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.
I was really feeling